बेबाक भाषा में आपका स्वागत है। हम बात करने जा रहे हैं जॉन ड्रेज से, जो विश्व विख्यात अर्थशास्त्री हैं, इकोनॉमिस्ट हैं और दिल्ली में फ़िलिस्तीन के पक्ष में एक प्रोटेस्ट में शामिल हुए। फ़िलिस्तीन, व्हाई इट इज़ सो इम्पोर्टेंट टू हैव अ प्रोटेस्ट इन दिल्ली ऑन पैलेस्टाइन?
I think there's an obvious need for protest, not only in Delhi but all over the world. And it is happening in most countries, including to some extent in India, but not enough. When 2 million people are being starved, bombed, terrified, displaced for 2 years, including thousands of children, then as human beings we have to protest, whether or not the government gives us permission. So the idea of this protest was to join all the people around the world who are opposing this genocide and asking for an immediate ceasefire. And the idea was also to expose the complicity of the Indian government, because it's not a secret that the Indian government is with Israel and has done very little to oppose this genocide. And it is also an affirmation of our right to protest. As you know, the government now very rarely gives permission to protest anywhere on anything. Today the police was telling us, why don't you ask for permission? But they know very well that they refuse permission for this kind of protest. So we have a duty to protest in this situation, whether or not the government gives permission. So we did what we had to do, and we will continue doing it. We came to oppose the genocide in Gaza, to demand an immediate ceasefire, and also to expose the complicity of the Indian government, which is always supporting Israel, and to defend our right to protest peacefully. This is very important. This is a public place. We were not disturbing anybody. We were not causing any inconvenience to the public. And in these circumstances, I think we all have a right to come on the streets, whether the government gives us permission or not.
One last thing, that international forums, Prime Minister, or in the BRICS also, the declaration, there is a reference of genocide on Palestine. But why India is a signatory to the BRICS? But why we can't protest in Delhi or India? Why it is a crime just to speak about the genocide?
The reason why the government of India is with Israel is that it is dependent on Israel for technology, especially for defense technology, for surveillance technology. There are also all kinds of commercial ties between Indian business and Israel business, whereas the Palestinians have nothing to offer. They are powerless, defeated people. They have nothing to offer. So naturally, the government sides with Israel. That does not mean that the people sides with Israel. I am sure that in an average Indian village, if you told people truthfully what is happening in Gaza today, in one voice they would say, this is wrong. They would say it is wrong to bomb children. It is wrong to starve children. So I am sure that the sentiment of the people, despite what happened today, is with the people of Palestine, to the extent that they are well informed.
Yeah. Just one last thing, that the UN Special Rapporteur, Albanese, she wrote a very important thing, economics of genocide.
Yes.
So how you see, and she's facing the sanctions now. So how you feel that, because you are also economics. So this term, economics of genocide, is very scary for me.
So what she's saying is similar to what I was saying, that it is because of economic interests that so many people are siding with Israel.
If it were a crime scene, Palestine would have the fingerprints of all of us, from what we buy, where we put our savings, where our pensions come from, the technology we use. Because if the genocide has not stopped, it's also because it's a lucrative endeavor. It pays, and pays well. Now, and this is the problem, the private sector has historically escaped accountability, but no, Palestine is clearly a red line. We have an international legal framework which is strong enough to say it's unlawful to engage with Israel as long as it maintains an unlawful occupation, permanent occupation. It continues to commit and is accused to be committing war crimes, crimes against humanity, and even genocide. So we need to use this power to say no to this system. If not now, when? And if not us, who? My last report covers the involvement of the private sector in the unlawful activities that are taking place in the occupied Palestinian territory. For 57 years, private actors have been pivotal to enable Israel to establish and expand an economy of occupation that has been made of displacement and replacement of the Palestinians, that in the last 20 months has turned into an economy of genocide. Arm manufacturers and big tech, but also construction businesses, supply chains, goods production, services production, tourism industry, and then even universities and charities and banks, pension funds, instead of withdrawing support, these private entities have either continued business as usual or even increased their engagement. Today is a test to prove the fact that even the private sector needs to be held accountable.
Israel is the powerful party. Israel is the rich party. Israel is the party that has technology, influence, money, everything. So naturally, the powerful constituencies tend to seek each other and to ally with each other. But we as people must have a different perspective based on humanity and based on solidarity.
Thanks a lot for speaking to us.